get some.
Ravings from the grave and salutations. Dr. Redfield here, and I'm gonna share with you the top 10 facts about the Evil Dead franchise that's bound to leave you feeling possessed. Good, bad, I'm the guy with the guarantee that this episode is going to be groovy. I am very excited about this week's episode as The Evil Dead is one of my favorite horror franchises. Beginning in 1981 with Sam Raimi's directorial debut and spanning the last 40 years, this entire series is the quintessential cabin in the woods, let's get possessed by demons, bloodbath, baptism of gore we've all come to love. The concept is simple. There's an ancient curse in an ancient book that brings back an ancient evil when read aloud. 5 movies and a streaming series that ran for 3 seasons. There are more Deadites, blood, and Necronomicons than we ever deserved. Let me correct myself. With over 4 decades of chainsaws and chins, we got more Bruce Campbell than we ever deserved.
Hail to the king.
So now before this turns into some kind of Bruce fest, let's fire up those chainsaws and let the carnage commence. Klaatu Barata.
Number 10. The first is not the original.
Directed in 1981 by the ever-talented Sam Raimi and starring the B-roll king himself, Bruce Campbell, The Evil Dead was a surprising success. But before all of this, there was Within the Woods. This was an extremely low-budget film that the duo filmed on location in a remote, creepy cabin in the woods. Though this is essentially a proof-of-concept film to gain more funding for larger budgeted projects, you could clearly see the defining aesthetic styles and filming techniques that would make Sam Raimi a successful director.
Well, look at that baby chin.
Yes, that chin is so young.
Number 9. Stephen King and the Deadites.
Back in the 1980s, when Stephen King's popularity was rising, he saw the first Evil Dead movie at the Cannes Film Festival. From there, he would go on to write a raving review about it in the Twilight Zone magazine. In a world before the internet, this review had a massive impact on the success of the production for the second movie, Evil Dead 2: Dead by Dawn. Stephen King is quoted as saying this was the most ferociously original film of the year. This review even brought enough attention to the film that the original became one of the UK's first video nasties. It got the King scream of approval, and the rest was history.
Number 8. The Delta 88.
In the first 4 out of 5 movies and the television series, you will be able to spot a 1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88. This is what our hero Ashy Slashy drives to the cabin in the woods in, and this is also the car he is sent back to medieval times in. It is even a feature characters in the series and can be seen briefly in the 2013 film. All of this was simply due to the fact that this was the car that the director Sam Raimi owned at the time of filming the original Evil Dead. Since then, it has made an appearance in nearly all of the films he's directed over the years.
It can be seen in a Doctor Strange movie.
Yes, it can also be seen in Spider-Man, Drag Me to Hell, Darkman, Spider-Man.
Number 7. Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash.
Based on my research and the data available, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and Ashley J. Williams all exist in the same cinematic universe. You can see Freddy's glove hanging in the background in the shed in Evil Dead 2. And then the Necronomicon makes an appearance in Jason Goes to Hell. This is also the same film where we get to see Freddy grab Jason's mask in the final shot of the movie. This is what would ultimately lead to the film Jason vs. Freddy. Though we've never got all 3 of these characters on the big screen for one movie, there has been a graphic novel that depicts what this epic mashup could have been. Who do you think was the winner?
Additionally, Nancy can be seen watching Evil Dead in the Nightmare on Elm Street film.
Good catch right there. That information's sure to rot some brains. Thank you.
Number 6. Evil Dead the Musical.
With the approval of Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell in 2003, The Evil Dead got added to the list of horror movies that were turned into musicals, and it was a bloody good time. There was singing with demons, dancing with chainsaws, and old books that can make a moose talk. Productions of this can still be found to this day, especially around Halloween time. I highly recommend attending one of these shows all in white and sitting in the first 5 rows. These seats are considered the splatter zone, and you will get covered in blood, buckets of blood, as you should get covered in at an Evil Dead musical.
Number 5. The Creepshow Connection.
In 1982, we were given the horror movie anthology Creepshow. In 2019, that anthology movie became a streaming series. And in Season 2, Episode 1 of that series, the Necronomicon makes an appearance. This is essentially a fan film to The Evil Dead, but it's a fan film directed by the guy who did most of the special effects for the entire franchise. Even Evil Dead alumni Ted Raimi makes an appearance to help paint a picture in this unofficial side story.
Number 4. Evil Head.
So we've talked about the Evil Dead musical parody, and we've talked about fan parodies. Now it's time for us, very seriously of course, to talk about a pornographic parody. Evil Head is a 2012 American pornographic horror comedy film that directly homages Sam Raimi's original film. It is every bit the rollicking roller coaster ride of gleeful grotesquerie one could hope. The humor is pretty dark, and they did not shy from the weirdness on this one. In my personal opinion, for a porn parody, this was way better than it needed to be.
Number 3. Dead by Dawn, but not of the dead.
This right here is a fact that routinely comes up for debate amongst scholars, and I will firmly stand my ground here. The possessed Deadites in the Evil Dead franchise are not zombies, ghouls, or undead brain munchers. They are demons. Yes, they may be dead, but they are not of the undead nature. They are demons from another plane of existence. Zombies are reanimated corpses of the recently deceased, while Deadites are demons that can possess people, trees, body parts, lamps, deer heads, books, hands, walls, blood, and the minds of the weak. The Deadites are dead, just not the undead. Do you got it?
Number 2. The Power of Love.
Typically in this franchise, if one is possessed by a Kandarian demon, it is an automatic death sentence. Though we have seen there have been some exclusions to this rule with Pablo, Kelly, and Ash. The difference is that when Pablo and Kelly were possessed, both required extreme sacrifice and ritual magic to survive the ordeal, while Ash only needed love. That's right, with this hero right here, all it takes is for him to find the necklace of the woman he loves, hold it, scream her name, and the demons inside go bye-bye. And that's the power of love.
Huey Lewis would not appreciate this. Number 1. The Necronomicons.
This right here is not necessarily a fact, but a theory. And a theory of mine put forth makes this a fact, and this fact has to be factually true.
Is that a fact?
Yes, it is. And here it is. I fully believe that every Evil Dead movie, iteration, and parody is just another story for another Necronomicon. The movies and series are not about Ashley J. Williams, but rather all about all the different versions of the Necronomicons across the universe. We know from Army of Darkness that there are at least 3 versions, and I believe there are probably even more. As a matter of fact, Sam Raimi almost called the original movie Book of the Dead. These books are bound in flesh and inked in blood, and I absolutely love them. I would actually be highly honored to have my own personal flesh inked and added to its pages.
They are also very cute.
Aren't they though? A bunch of Necronomicons.
The top 10 facts about the Evil Dead to rot your brains.
And this will conclude my list of the top 10 facts about the Evil Dead franchise that'll rot your brains. I have plenty of more facts that I would love to share, but I've ran out of time. Maybe in the future I will do a follow-up episode. Who am I kidding? There most definitely will be a follow-up episode in the future. I didn't even get a chance to mention the video games.
Nor did you mention the boomstick.
I know. Like I said, I ran out of time. Hail the king, baby. To be quite honest, I could probably just do an entire episode where I sit around and do nothing but quote Ashy Slashy lines from the movie. That would be groovy.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Give me some sugar, baby.
We're done here.
Yo. She bitch.
What did you call me?
Let's go.
Shutting this down now. Goodbye. Bye.